Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. Today I am going to explain and recap a recently released movie called She Comes from the Woods. The movie starts with a flashback where we see a girl by the name of Heather running in the woods. She was scared and in panic as something was chasing her. She stumbles upon a place which was surrounded by glass jars filled with blood. Here she hears her name being called by that chasing entity, which makes her scream. The story now runs in the year 1987 in a place called Briarbrook. This was a summer camp and today was its last day. The camp was started in the year 1945 by Gilbert with his dead wife Evelyn. It is now managed by his daughter Heather with two grandsons Peter and Sean. Peter's high school friends were frequent camp counselors here, as all these guys were managing a dozen kids. Ben and Ashley were teaching drama to kids as they were about to perform later today. Lauren was Peter's love interest who was surprised to see way too many medical-grade syringes in his bag. Peter says he is not into drugs, but he had planned a surprise for tonight's campfire outing. Sean was troubled by his little brother's non-serious attitude as he tried to imbue some wisdom. The kids performed the drama where they explained the history of Briarbrook. Here we see Danny, who was totally into Keeley, who seemed interested in him as well. After the drama, Gilbert thanked the kids and remembered his late wife by showing her ring. He always used to wear it in her memory, and this year he was retiring. The kids had a good time here for the past few days as they got ready to leave. Sean was taking them out on the bus where he was angry at Peter. The bus engine seemed hot as Peter forgot to cool it down. He drives away anyway. At Peter's surprise party, all the counselors were around a campfire in the woods. Veronica asks Mike for a selfie as this was her last camp. These teens have been doing this summer job for a while now, but since they are graduating this year, for many it was their last time here. Ben and Ashley start to leave the party as they have forgotten to close some bunks on the south side. Peter had distributed his syringes to everyone as he was about to do the camp's famous blood ritual. Here one has to poke their finger for a drop of blood. Ashley does it before leaving and Peter then explains the history. In 1945 a camp nurse by the name of Agatha was kicked out for giving homeopathic medications which had a witchy twist to it. After a few years, she was caught at the edge of the camp. She was giving her midnight medicine classes to camp kids. As camp counselors chased her, she stumbled upon a rock and died for good. The camp kids were possessed and by surrounding her body they chanted Ex Vitam Immortalum, meaning she is immortal and can be revived. Peter and his friends were doing this ritual of chanting Agatha's mantra every year, but nothing had happened. This year he thought if they did it with blood then it might be different. Agatha was the urban legend of this camp. All teens jabbed their fingers in Agatha's name. On the other side, Sean's bus broke down in the middle of the farm. As the engine stopped, kids became catatonically silent. This surprised Sean as they were screaming and shouting a moment earlier. As he got down to check on the issue, kids disappeared from the bus. They were gone and this freaked him. He then quickly ran into the cornfield as he heard their voices from there. He started calling them by name but got no response. A dozen kids went missing under his watch. He seemed to know what had happened. Back at the camp, Danny finally approached Kelly and tried kissing her forcefully. Kelly refused him outright by saying she had a boyfriend. But Danny was in no mood to accept no and he again tried to force himself onto her. Kelly quickly ran away from him to the bonfire. She was visibly traumatized. As she started discussing her boyfriend's situation with Veronica, Danny started attacking her and stoned her to death. Later, he put her face in the fire. Veronica and other counselors were shocked to see this sudden turn of events. Peter tried to stop Danny, but he attacked him as well. He was visibly possessed. Mike in self-defense stabbed him twice and killed him. Later these guys ran up to Heather, who at first didn't believe. Thought this might be a prank. But once she knew it was real, she dialed the police. Just then a sudden power surge caused a short circuit and Heather ended up injured. On the other side, Ben and Ashley had been separated from the group, and they had no idea what was going on at the camp. Heather asked Danny, Mike, and Veronica to bring them back. Sean suspects Peter's ritual might have something to do with kids' disappearance, and he informs Gilbert. Ben started experiencing supernatural things as he closed one bunk door. It opened on its own. The lights started flicking and he started hearing Camp Kid's voice. In the woods, Veronica gets separated from Mike and Danny, who were hearing only her voice. When they followed it, they ended up at a place filled with hanging blood jars. Veronica was tied to a stretcher with coughing blood. She died there with a loud scream, and these two ran like hell. Lauren found some medical records pertaining to Agatha which implicated her experiment on Heather. Till now Peter thought this as an urban legend, a story to keep camp kids away, but it turned out to be different. Heather overheard these kids' conversation and was shocked to see the records. She narrates the incident that happened to her and her fellow camp kids. Back in the day, we were possessed by her, we followed her voice and started chanting her mantra all night. It felt like a dream in the morning and we convinced ourselves. But deep down we knew it was all real. Just then police officer Matthew, who was Heather's friend and was with her during Agatha's incident, arrives at the camp. The police had dispatched him after Heather's botched-up call. She informs him about the murder. As he tries to call for backup, his car and the radio inside shut down on their own, which confuses him. Next, they see Danny and Mike running towards them with fear. They narrate what had happened with Veronica, which makes Lauren's theory of Agatha credible. These kids accept that they indeed did the ritual. Matthew freaked out hearing the name of Agatha, as her trauma was still fresh in his memory. While these guys were talking, a pizza delivery guy arrived in the car for delivery. Danny and Mike wanted to leave this camp ASAP, but Matthew at gunpoint stopped them. He tells Heather that there is no way these kids can escape from her, she will hunt down. He drives away in the pizza delivery guy's car without help. On the other side, Ben and Ashley saw the camp kids running past them in a possessed state. Kids gathered around a tree and started chanting Ex Vitam Immortalum repeatedly. Ashley saw Agatha rising up while Ben didn't, as he had not done the ritual. Now kids started chasing Ashley and soon they devoured her. Ben ran up to the camp in horror and locked himself with others. He told the rest what had happened. Heather and Mike came up with the idea of locking the possessed kids in one of the bunkers by distracting them. Mike and Peter volunteered. Mike ran from the back door, forcing the kids to follow him while Peter followed the kids. Once inside, Peter locked the kids. As Mike was getting out from the other end, kids got him and devoured him. Later Gilbert and Sean too arrived at the camp and were shocked at the death of 5 people. He fired at one of the kids who was not inside. Here Peter, Lauren, and Danny saw Agatha while the rest didn't. Gilbert, in a guilty consciousness, explains the history. Back in 1945, Gilbert's wife Evelyn was sick and needed a camp nurse. Agatha came to the camp seeing the ad in a local newspaper. She knew homeopathy and witchcraft. Evelyn's condition became worse after her arrival, and Gilbert, in the heat of the moment, became intimate with her. Only after Evelyn's death, he learnt Agatha's real intention. Her medicine made Evelyn's condition worse. Then he kicked her out. But she didn't go, she camped near Blair Book and was lowering kids for her witchcraft. When she possessed Heather and her friends, Gilbert chased her down and killed her. He buried her body inside the camp, thinking that would be the end of her story. But her story grew as a legend, and now she is back for real. Agatha had Evelyn's ring on her, which Gilbert took it back from her corpse as a reminder of his beloved wife. Lauren here thought that this ring might be cursed, maybe Agatha was after this. Danny was spooked by all this. He kidnapped Ben and took him to Agatha's place as an offer. He wanted to trade his life with that of Ben's. But his plan backfired when he returned one of the kids, threw gasoline on him and burnt him alive. By this time Agatha became powerful and in human corporal form. Gilbert and the rest decide to finish her for good. These three too do the ritual so that they can see her. Peter, Lauren, and Sean plan to distract her while Gilbert and Heather are ready with an axe. Agatha played smart here. She lured Peter into the woods pretending Ben and axed him. Later she took Heather hostage and was about to kill her when Gilbert offered her ring. When he placed it in her palm, Lauren shot an arrow from behind and injured her. Agatha in rage grabbed Gilbert's gun and shot him in his head. Heather here quickly stabbed her multiple times with Lauren shooting multiple arrows. These three finally killed Agatha. This time these guys decide to chop her body into pieces and drown it in the lake. The next morning a police officer entered the camp with Ben. He was shocked to see the dead bodies and the ordeal of what had happened. He called back up. It was implied that Matthew was also the victim of Agatha, as he was missing. With this, the movie ends. So this is basically a teen comedic horror movie with plenty of punches and gore. It is lengthy, but jokes are totally worth it. It has lots of 80s horror elements and tries hard to bring us that era. It's a good one-time or kill-time movie that is watchable. If you liked this video, then please subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching. Take care.